there's some noise in the background. I know, but just when you're talking, like zzz.
I'm telling you, man, I get the best luck in the world.
You're listening to the Media Man Dan podcast. Let's rock!
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Media Man Dan podcast. Today, I have an amazing gentleman with me, all the way over in the wonderful country of Germany. This is Paul, otherwise known as All Too Human, and this All Too Human fella is going to tell me everything about his passion for his amazing music he's created, which I consider the art of death metal. Welcome to the podcast, my friend. How are you doing? It's great to see you for the first time.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Dan. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Life is good, except for when we have technology issues.
It's going to work somehow.
Yes. So, how was your New Year? Did you have anything that you planned with family or friends?
Not at all. I had to work all night.
Oh, that takes away the spirit.
Since I'm working
Night shifts. I don't have weekends or or anything. So yeah, it was not too cool, but it's okay. I'm not a New Year's Eve guy, so
No worries. Yeah, the challenge of being an overnighter in any position, I was working at hotels for like 6 years and having to do that spot and see all kinds of weirdos. It was a pretty interesting thing because I'm the one that stays sober almost always. And so watching other people, it's just like, oh, wow, look at that crazy guy.
you have to get used to that.
Yep.
To have fun without getting drunk.
Definitely. Yeah, I can say I've never drank. I've always done it casually here and there, and the most I've ever done is tipsy. I can never get drunk.
We jumped out a window.
Because I don't think alcohol tastes that good.
and it's getting harder the older you get.
Oh, really? Okay, good. I'll miss out on that.
I think you just turned 30, is that right?
Correct, yeah. Just last year. Can't believe it. Thank you. It's yeah, third of the way there. How old are you, by the way?
I'm 34.
34, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can tell me what happens in 4 years. How hard is life?
People are talking a lot about life after 30s, but a lot of things are true. It's funny, but really, I think 4 years ago everything started to hurt somehow.
Yeah, that's what they say. Is that your body just starts like deteriorating, like everything that was solid.
A lot is happening in your head, of course, but you definitely feel, or I personally feel, that like night shifts are a lot harder for me as they were 10 years ago.
Yeah, and you have the nice look. I'm gonna have that hopefully when I'm 34 as well. The nice beard with the flannel. It will look a little bit more manly. Right now I look like a little boy, right? I'm wearing the Ninja Turtles.
Come on. Just grow a beard.
Just grow a beard.
Every man looks better with a beard. That's a fact.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I was talking to the punks on their podcast, and I'm going to have them again this week. But my head is not circular as it looks. It's all the headphones that do it. So like I always thought, I'm like, man, I look like such a circle, and that's why I'm like, the beard wouldn't look good because then I look fatter. And yeah, no, you're right. I would rock that beard.
Some faces are made for it and some are not.
Yeah.
When I'm shaved, I look like a almost 18-year-old. Like,
That's exactly what I feel right now. I feel like a teenager.
yeah, maybe when I'm 50 or 60, I want to look younger, and then I start shaving.
Got it. All right. Well, since you're talking about your growing up and all of that, I want to know, how was it getting into the genre that you're currently in? Are you always been a metalhead?
What the fuck did you just say?
I would say not always. I think my first music was like rock music, the stuff my dad was hearing. Like, I think I started with Bon Jovi. That's one band I remember, one of the first bands.
Awesome.
It got like harder every year. So yeah, like punk rock. I had a punk rock time, like Blink-182 and stuff. And yeah, I think like 15 years ago maybe. Or it's better to say my music taste just got wider.
Yeah.
I hear more harder or heavier stuff, but it's not that I don't listen to other things, you know. I like country, for example. I mean, a lot of people would laugh about me for that. I mean, if I'm in a good mood, and that's the perfect music for it. So.
And shut my mouth, slap your grandma.
That metal music is definitely where I lost my heart. Like, that's the only music I do. I can't even play an acoustic guitar.
What's happening here?
Because I didn't do it for the last 15 years. I only play
Electric. Yeah. Hell yeah.
guitars, yeah.
Well, that's good. I like the heavier stuff anyway, because it's easier on the fingers too. It's not as much strumming as you have to do with acoustic. And just pressing your fingers into the string is just.
I think it's just different. Metal, it's more faster riffs, but
Yeah.
but one string riffs, you know. And yeah, if you're like a singer-songwriter or something, you need to play whole chords and stuff. Yeah, it's different, but both is cool.
Awesome. Yeah. We were also talking about, with those faster riffs, like you were saying, that both of our like history with metal is something to do with "Bullet for My Valentine." You want to dig a little deeper into that and say like one of the albums or songs that really got you to listen to?
I'm really bad with remembering album and song names. But yeah, in fact, Bullet is a band that got me into metalcore. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much like the first band that I listened to where someone was screaming. Yeah, when I heard of the first song of them, I don't remember it.
4 words to choke upon?
Hand of Blood or something. I think it
Oh,
was.
Hand of Blood. Oh, classic.
First thing I was thinking was, what is wrong with this guy? Why is he screaming? Does he have problems or something?
Yeah.
But
Yep.
when I once I got used to it, I just loved it. I like this pure brutality. I mean, if you hear it the first time, you can be shocked and just think he's screaming, but there's so much more to it, and like sorry, it's hard to describe with bad English.
No, your English is actually very clear. Like you have a very easy understanding accent, because there's some people that have very thick accents, and it makes it very challenging to hear everything they're saying.
Ich fick dich auseinander, du knuffliges Knuddelbärchen.
is fictisch als je dan een groenteberry. Yeah.
Yeah, biggest problem for me is just to express what I want to say. If you just have less words than your language, then it's just harder.
Yeah, I can read it. I can read what you're trying to say, though. So basically, you're frightened by the scream that was there. You were like, "Oh my gosh, there's something wrong."
Yeah. That was the first thing, and that's something I still see today when someone hears my music, like a family member or anyone, they're just shocked.
Do you always like listen to nicer music around those people, and then you listen to your heavy stuff when you're alone?
I mean, my wife got used to my music.
Okay.
Yeah, but as I told you, I'm not fixing the metal to metal music. I hear a lot of stuff, so I'm okay with listening to smoother music.
Very good, very good. What is one of your worst genres you do not like to listen to?
My worst genre, I think like techno, EDM, and stuff.
Techno and EDM.
I mean, I don't hate it, but
It does nothing.
I don't feel anything.
Yeah, it's like no meaning. It's just dance. Just
Yeah,
pop.
and then there's German folk music is really bad.
I'll definitely avoid that if I can.
Yeah, it's better do.
But it's definitely not like the indie folk that you would hear in America, I'm guessing.
No, that's something whole different.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to know how.
German folk, okay. Keep it on my list of things not to listen to or to torture myself with if I want to make reactions.
But it could be funny.
Definitely, yeah. Entertainment
It
value.
depends on your goal.
Wonderful. All right, so the history is that you listened to Bon Jovi, Bullet for My Valentine. Both of these are incredible bands. You had a lot of your dads listening. Same with my father. He was listening to disco, Motown, listened to a lot of pop, listened to a lot of 80s. And then I finally got into like 90s, like late stuff, like Celine Dion with the Titanic soundtrack and, you know, all of the main songs that were playing on the radio, Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, and NSYNC. And I missed out on my favorite artist currently, still the one that I know the most about, and that's Eminem, until I got into high school. Yeah, that's amazing.
Everybody had a phase in his life where he listened to rap music, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think I was like 10 or 11. It actually was the same time as I listened to Bon Jovi that when I had my rap phase. Yeah, and there's still some guys who pretty cool to listen like this past and intellectual.
Yeah. Oh, like Eminem is a masterful, like, technical rapper. Like, he'll figure out a way to make any word rhyme with the other. Like, a lot of rappers would avoid it or just put a different song, like, in, not a different song, a different lyric in that just makes the whole thing switch. But Eminem, like, forced himself to get to that level of, this is the dictionary and I'm going to know every word in it.
I don't like his new stuff too much.
Yeah, same.
But the old albums, I think the first 3 or maybe 4 albums.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes. I love those 3 as well. I used to not like his old Slim Shady voice when I first got into him. Because I started, with
It was not younger. It was much higher.
Yeah, and you would think that he was like a teenager at that time, but he was in his like mid to late 20s. And I didn't realize that until I looked at the birth date, and I was like, wow, I mean, I'm not behind at all. I'm kind of ahead because I started rapping when I was in high school. And, you know, his high school, they had an option, but it was still the learning of the 80s rap, so it was very simple and breakdance style. And so, yeah, getting all the technical rappers, Tech-9, Hopsin, of course, Tupac, his older stuff is actually pretty technical as well. His first song ever, Young Black Male on Tupacalypse Now, it is awesome. I was like, holy crap, no one knows about this, but Tupac could have been a speeder. He could have been one of those chopper rappers.
Yeah, and he's still
Funny.
releasing music after his death.
Yeah,
That's,
Juice World too. It
how's that
seems like
possible?
they never stop. They never stop. They have plenty of songs in the
That's-
yeah history. But yeah, hip hop was good. And then I was talking about like getting into other genres. I always tell everybody that I interview, I got into Weird Al, and that's what got me into metal. Out of all things, the parody artist made a new metal cover of All About the Benjamins called All About the Pentiums, which is all about computers and like older stuff. And it's just a nerd diss, but it's like so metal with the riffs, and I used to just bob my head to that, and that's what got me comfortable with heavier music.
You're a two-bit user. You got your own news group, all total loser. Your motherboard melts when you try to send a fax. Where'd you get your CPU in a box of Cracker Jacks? Play me online, well you know that I'll beat you. If I ever meet you, I'll control, I'll delete you.
Crazy, right? So besides Bullet for My Valentine, what other bands really grabbed your ear when you were getting into the genre of metalcore?
When I think of bands that I didn't only listen to like 10 years or 15 years ago, but bands that I still love today. It's Killswitch is one of the big bands.
My favorite?
God.
Yes. Great band.
Yeah, that's the two bands I will always be listening to. But I have to say, Killswitch. Again, I don't like the new stuff too much. Yeah, I like the first albums with Jesse. Howard was good too, but every album with the new albums with Jesse, like when Jesse came back.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they're okay, but it's too generic for me, too generic metalcore.
I mean, you would hear it like that. For me, I'm just like, oh.
I mean, it's easy to listen to if you like metalcore and you want to as I said, it's generic metalcore. So if you want to listen, especially to that, then you get what you want. But yeah, it's nothing new, and I think that since all this music streaming age started, there are so many bands, and every musician has to try to do something different. Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
I don't say that I'm able to do that, but at least that's the goal you have. Yeah, Killswitch is too much of the typical metalcore for me.
Yeah. I can understand where you're coming from with the style of it is definitely getting older and older because we're now getting like Lorna Shore and Sleep Token as the staples of new experimental metalcore and death metal and deathcore, and so those things are going to overlap. What Killswitch is still putting out is sounds very close to End of Heartache and their best times, but yeah, you can only have it for so long until you have to switch it up. So I can see where you're coming from with that. My favorite album with Howard, definitely, of course, As Daylight Dies, but his last album with them, the Killswitch Engage self-titled, second time they had the title. I love that album, and it's really, really good because it's Howard at his best, and that was right before Jesse came back. And then, yeah, that next album is the first time I ever heard Killswitch with In Due Time. I watched the music video for that, and I was like, ooh, I like this guy's voice. And it's not his screaming. I was not into screaming at that time. I was still coming from a hard rock, in college.
Yeah, I was so hyped to hear that Jesse's coming back to Killswitch, and the album they released, I liked it, yeah, but it didn't fulfill what I was hoping for.
Yeah. Did you like his solo work with Times of Grace?
Yeah, it was okay, but honestly, I don't get to listen to all those bands that are out there. I know that they existed, but I didn't really pay enough attention to every song of them. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, that's also a thing in the streaming age. That's too much to listen, and I want to listen to every band. I want to explore everything, but that's just not possible. Like,
When you do, then you're like left with dissatisfaction as opposed to still trying to discover things. That's the biggest issue that I have with streaming services, especially when it comes to like looking for movies these days. Like you're like, oh, I have all these options and I've seen all of the best. Why the hell would I waste my time on this shit that I've never seen and have no interest in?
yeah, gotcha. Yeah, that's exactly as I feel with music these days.
Yeah, and with that being said, I should ask, what is one of your favorite movies?
One of my favorite movies. That's difficult. I think I don't have one favorite movie, but a lot of stuff I like all the Star Wars movies. I think.
Yeah, all of them. Ones.
Sorry.
New Star Wars movies as well, the Disney trilogy.
I like the episodes 1 to 6. So the really old from the 70s and the 80s.
Hell yeah, bro, the best ones.
Yeah, that's the best. I mean, the newer movies are interesting. Yeah, it's something whole different. Like what was this? What do you call Rogue One or something?
Oh God, that was such a
with that girl in the main character.
yes, she was.
It was cool and like new interpretation. Is that the right word? to take a woman as a main role, I think that's pretty progressive.
Yeah, Jen Erso, pretty solid as the main character. That was right around the time that Rey had just come in for The Force Awakens, so we were kind of getting used to that. And so we had hope. They gave us a lot of hope. They gave us a new hope. And then decided to throw everything down the drain for the rest of those movies. Unfortunately, Solo couldn't hold up to the levels that the original trilogy had. They couldn't do much with Last Jedi because Rian Johnson came in and changed the story. And then JJ came back and ruined the entire franchise by undoing what Rian Johnson did instead of continuing that story. He is just like, nope, this is a side character. No one cares about this person. Finn's in the background. I'm like, what? No, don't do this. You had almost a good, solid story with Force Awakens giving us a New Hope feel, and then you just got rid of it.
Yeah, feel that.
There's some noise in the background. I know, but just when you're talking, like zzz.
I'm telling you, man, I get the best luck in the world.
Back to what I was asking. Do you like the Back to the Future franchise?
I don't have an opinion.
No opinion on it. Interesting.
No opinion. Yeah, I know. Everyone knows it. I know it too, but I think I watched it one time years ago, but no, don't really have an opinion. I should watch it again.
Yeah, I highly recommend anyone that has not seen it in a while rewatch it.
I don't watch too much movies. That's the problem, I guess.
Aha. Have you watched any movies last year with your family?
One movie where I want to see the second part is Dune. Like yeah, it's coming to cinemas in February in Germany.
Wonderful. Okay, so
that's something I'm looking forward to. I like that.
So it's literally coming next month to you?
Yeah, I think at the end of February.
That's amazing. Hold on, when are we getting it?
Is it in the American theaters already?
No, not yet. Dune 2 is gonna be in. Let's see.
Okay, that's good. So you can.
Oh, March 1st in the USA. So you get it first.
What?
Yeah, we're a little late.
That's crazy.
It's okay. It's the box office. They're going to check your country. They're going to check all the other places. Then they're going to be like, let's see how the Americans think. So you like the first one?
Oh, yeah. I liked it. I thought it's coming to theaters in November, so I watched the first movie again.
Yeah, and then they changed it.
I was disappointed. So I have to watch it a third time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I had all the intention to go and see it because I saw the first one. I was like, okay, well, that's cool. It's going to be an IMAX. And they made sure to get every theater to be IMAX. And then the guy promised that these movies were coming out in November and then for some reason changed it. And so then we're like stuck with the Marvels. And I was like, no, that's not good. And so yeah, it's could be worth the wait, no doubt. They're probably amazing.
Yeah, yeah, I like the atmosphere of the movie somehow. I think that's maybe because I like Star Wars. It's like
Yeah,
different.
it does have that. Yeah, it's definitely that feel the whole time, and I think that it's very hard for me to follow because I didn't watch the original. I haven't read the book. I haven't had any interest in any of it. So watching it with my friend, I was just like, "Can you tell me what's going on?" He's like, "It's obvious." It's like, "It's not obvious, dude. I don't know what's going on." They're upset with this worm thing that keeps coming around in the sand, and then this guy had to put his hand in a box and it hurt him, and I don't know what's going on.
The movie was the reason I was buying all the books and giving to my wife for birthday. I think she hadn't read one of it, but
Did she like it?
no, she hasn't.
Has she seen the movies?
She watched the movie with me,
Okay.
but she likes reading books, so I thought maybe she would like the book.
Yeah.
So I bought I think 8 books. Yeah, but she didn't get to read one of it. Just standing there on the shelf, but it's a time problem.
Yeah,
You need
it's okay.
8 books.
Yeah, my fiance, she loves romance books, so I've gotten her like almost everything from Nicholas Sparks. She's read most of them, and whenever she has free time, she'll be reading again. But she's a teacher, so she's always trying to, focus on the class and focus on what she's going to do next week, what next day, all of that. So
Yeah, just
pre-planning.
he's a teacher too.
Ah,
And she reads all day, like correcting tests and stuff.
yeah,
And in the evening, she doesn't feel like to read
yeah, that makes sense.
more words.
Oh, they don't like to come home to anything because their whole mind is teaching all the time. So I try to get her mind off of it as much as I can. Like, let's put on a movie, let's put on like this music, something to take it all away so that you don't have to worry about it. But they're always in that teacher mode where they're ready to go at any time, get things done.
It's a horrible job.
It is. I agree with you.
You can't turn off.
No, it's unbelievable, but it is very helpful if you have passion for it. I always appreciate the real teachers out there, not the ones that are doing it because I don't know, they think it's going to pay them or because it's just something that they like to do, but they don't care about it. That's not helpful, especially for the kids.
Everyone knows these teachers.
Yep. And the ones that abuse the kids. Oh my God. I had a few that would like lie about me to my parents all the time. And I was like, I didn't, as far as I know, I didn't leave my desk. And this one was like, oh yeah, Daniel would just get up and walk around. I was like, what?
Okay.
I didn't leave my desk. And my mom was like, he would get up and just walk around. They're like, yeah, he would just walk around. Like, I mean, I played with my pencils, my pens, my highlighters, my markers, with paper, anything I could at my desk. I didn't get up and walk around, so I didn't like that assumption. Yeah. Yeah, it was a terrible allegation, and my mom now doesn't trust that teacher ever again, which is probably fine because I don't think she's alive. But that was back in 2nd grade. I only remember a few of my teachers. I had some good teachers at the end, though. High school, I had a really, really positive experience with one of my favorite teachers. He was a math teacher, and he just had this great outlook of life so that he would always be reasonable with all of us. He would give us 3 days to turn in every homework assignment until the last day of school. Because he said, I know you got lives, you got sports, you got boyfriends, girlfriends, you got whatever. So I'm not going to put the pressure on you to have it the next day. I'll give you 3 days for each assignment. But don't you dare come here on the last day of school and tell me I still have 2 more days. I'm going to get it to you. He's like, I won't be in the office. It's great. But
Good old times.
yeah, education, all that good stuff. Let's talk about your music. So your own style that you've put your heart and soul into, which I consider death metal. What was your first time hearing yourself like? Did you enjoy your voice? Did you say, this is exactly what I want? Or were you like, ugh, what are we going to do to make this better?
I think the first time I heard my voice over a mic was like when I was 17. I've been singing in a cover band, and I was really bad, and I really knew. So I got pretty low self-esteem in my voice, but the band needed a singer, so someone had to do the job.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah, but you not only get better at singing itself, you get better at how to use a mic and like what angles you need to use and stuff like that. And you get used to listening to your voice from a different, from the listener's view, you know, like as it sounds different than you hear it in your head when you're speaking or singing. So that's definitely a weird feeling when you do it the first time.
Yeah. Oh my God. My first time in a booth, I was scared out of my mind. I didn't know if I was sounding okay. And they were like, no, that sounds great. I was like, are you sure? I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows your voice since always.
Yeah.
but you don't. So
Yeah, we're our worst critic.
weird feeling.
Definitely.
Yeah, then I didn't play in a band like for 10 years or something, so I didn't really use my voice for singing. I only played some guitar, some bass, and then it was when I started, like 1 or 2 years ago, when I started a little covering songs and also singing and recording my voice. I was really bad again, so it felt like everything I had 10 years ago, I just unlearned it. I had to start again, and when I now listen to like recordings from 2 years ago, there's a big difference just in my, especially in the screaming skills.
Would you consider yourself more of a growler, fry scream, mid scream? Do you know all of those?
What I started with was definitely like false called screams, like more down the throat. That was actually the only thing I was able to do when I started again 2 years ago. And as I practiced, I think it's not fry screams that I'm doing now, but it's somewhere in between. I think it's a mix of it. I can't really describe it because I'm not a professional singer. It's just I do stuff what feels best and sounds best for me. But I think it's a mix of fry screams and false chords.
Nice. Yeah, your like spoken word scream that you have, that metal, it reminds me of Parkway Drive. That's what I'm gonna say. It reminds me so much. Yeah.
I love Parkway Drive, and it's funny because sometimes I hear it myself that I hear from my recordings what my influences are.
Yeah.
There's definitely Parkway Drive in it.
They make you into who you are. I mean, everyone that you listen to, like my specific scream is always Matt Tuck. It's the first thing that I come up with is Matt Tuck, and then I'll end up with like a nice easy fry by the end, and I'll be like, okay, that's where Red came in, my favorite band. So I'm like, of course. But if I could scream like Chester, I would be a millionaire. He's the best.
He was gifted. I wish I could do that.
Oh yeah. And especially for all the times he would have those intense screams he could hold out for so long, like on Given Up. That's always the most impressive thing that's known for Linkin Park. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think you need a lot of practice, and you need to be professional to be a professional singer. You know. So what I do is I don't really practice singing. When one song is ready, when I got the instrumentals, then I just write some lyrics and I record it as the melody that I got in my head.
Got it.
I should really practice more.
Yeah, that's probably the best. I mean, at least 15 minutes every day. That's usually what they say, especially when it comes to screams. You don't want to overdo it. So
yeah, and I feel like my throat is getting, like the muscles in my throat, they are just getting stronger by using it more and more, you know, and
yeah,
singing gets easier, and especially screaming.
Truly. Also, you had a big change between the time of your first single versus the newest single, and like I was saying, the Parkway Drive, I could definitely hear in like that spoken word metal voice, and then when you would have your actual singing voice, I was like, oh, okay, it is a little bit raw, but it's okay. And so the newest song, which I reacted to, The Devil May Care, with Beauty in a Plastic Bag on production just really made you stand out. And, you just showed the best moments of your sound. And I think that
I have to say, Michael from Beauty in a Plastic Bag, he only mastered the song. I have to say this because if he would have also mixed it, then it would be much better.
you did the mixing?
I did the mixing and he mastered it for me.
Got it.
Only for you to know that he's a lot better than me.
Well, he is absolutely amazing with his stuff as well, and I'm very excited to see both of you guys working on improving your skills over time and especially helping each other out. I want to see how he's going to show you all of the masterful work that he does in the booth, and then you could show him some extra work that you're doing with your vocals and just playing around with the lower vocal, because low screams are really cool, and I've always found them fascinating because I'm like, I would croak. I know I would croak eventually. It would be very challenging to keep something that's so. It seems like it's low, but it's truly just any other scream. It's just a very technical thing. Yeah, the technique is crazy.
I think the low screams everyone could do with the right technique. But for me, the really high screams are pretty tough. I think
those are the hard ones.
Yeah, that's more for fry screams, and that's not where I'm too good at, or I didn't really try it too much.
I find that fascinating because there's some amazing screamers out there that are like, fry screams are so hard, and I'm like, that's basically all I do.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like with my false chords, there was one moment where it just made click, and I felt, oh, okay, so that's screaming. If you once experience the feeling, then you know how it works. But it was it took some time for me to get it how just to scream without ruining my voice.
Yeah, it's very true. It is feeling like you are actually using your throat that causes the major problem. Like when you feel like that's where the scream is coming from, when it's basically just a vibrating windpipe. At that point, you're supposed to just make it vibrate so that it has sound, but you're not supposed to use it in the way that you're going to fully that's real bad. And I've done that many times, especially on one of my most recent Instagram streams. I was like, oh shit, I got to be careful because I know what can happen if I screw that up. It feels like a sore throat the next day, and that's real bad.
The worst nights for me were when I played gigs with one of my first bands, and I was totally drunk on the stage, So, and my screaming technique was not the same when I was sober, so I couldn't speak for a couple of days. And
yeah, the recovery process of that. See, playing on stage, I've never done personally, and I always find it incredibly intimidating, especially if you have a band around you that depends on you as a vocalist. There's some incredible vocalists out there that have been removed from bands because they just couldn't do it live as they could in the studio. And maybe it's drinking, maybe it's something of that sort. But like you said, it is that technical aspect where if you don't do the specific technique as it always is, then you really do screw up the whole performance, but you don't think about it because you're like, I'm rocking out, I'm on stage. That's what I've heard so far. It's like you don't care. You're like, I got this.
I think the stage is something whole different than just singing for yourself or singing in the studio, of course. Yeah.
And you believe you have to be louder too, even though the microphone already does that.
and I didn't ever feel pressure from my bandmates.
Oh, that's good.
It felt more like it's not only me. So we were the 5 of us or the 4 of us on the stage. I'm not alone, so it helped me a lot.
That's very good.
For me, as I'm as an introvert, as I would call myself, that's a special. Or has always been a challenge for me to get on stage. But when it started, it was okay.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad they were so supportive of you. Some bands are a little bit dysfunctional, and some bands are a little dysfunctional, and I'm glad that wasn't the case for you, so you could get comfortable. As an introvert, it's probably incredible for many people to hear you scream with the intensity that you do and be like, whoa, that's from you? Really? Oh, okay. The quiet guy in the back of the room always has the best scream.
People don't believe that that's my voice when they hear it the first time.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny.
Have you performed for anyone like live, like in person? Like, hey, I'll show you something on my break at work.
Not with my solo project. With one of my first bands, sometimes my dad used to come to some gigs. I mean, he didn't like that music, but but I was his son, so he tried to support me.
That's family. That's the best, man. Ah, that's so nice. You have so many supportive people around you. Has it always been that way?
Yeah, I think I'm just gifted with my family.
Wonderful. That's a blessing.
Yeah, I mean, not all my life was easy, or yeah, everyone has just his up and downs in his life, but I think all in all, I got my people. I love them. They love me. So everything's fine.
Awesome. That's great to hear, man. Yeah, I was bullied a lot as a kid, and so that helped me get my thicker skin to understand what people were like when they were not like supportive. And so my family was very coddling. They were like, "Oh, Daniel, everything's going to be okay. Church is going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay." And then I would go back to school and it wasn't. And so I would always have to like figure out how to manage it and adapt to it. And then in high school, after a bad relationship, I decided, you know what it is? I'm supposed to be the leader of my own group. I'm not supposed to fit in with another. I'm supposed to do it myself. So I took my small group of friends and I was like, we're going to chill on this day. We're going to all have each other's back. And I was like, that's what I was supposed to do. Instead of being a follower, a leader is a much better choice for when you're an introvert. I also am, but I don't show it on camera because you get comfortable after a while.
Has a different identity.
That's very true.
You don't, well, you only show what you want to show. So
Yeah, but if you work with me or if you have to see me on a daily basis, then I'll be talking your ear off for a long time. But if I've never met you, I probably won't talk to you for like an hour, and then I'll probably say like, "Hey, how about the weather?" That's how it goes.
so that's as I am. So we wouldn't talk for hours.
That'd be great. Be like, "Hey, Paul, hi, Dan."
I like being around people who just are who are extroverts and like talking all the time, because that makes it easy for me, you know.
Yeah. Well, what's really funny is you get in the middle of a conversation where you're just eavesdropping on it, and then they say something that you're related to, and then you're like, "Oh, it's my turn. I can say something." Because all the rest of the time you're just like, "I'm just gonna wait until something comes up that I understand." Like if people talk about a sport that I don't know, I'm like, yeah. And then all of a sudden they'll change the subject, and I'll be like, "I know what you're talking about." Blah 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 blah.
I exactly know that feeling.
Yeah. But it's not a bad thing to be an introvert these days. A lot of we already know because you're married. I'm working on that right now, making sure that everything is settled for the future. But you find the best women because you're a nice timid guy, as opposed to those outstanding jocks. They're just like, I'm so confident, and then they don't get nice people.
It took some time for me to figure out that it's not good or bad to be an introvert or an extrovert. It's just, yeah, we can do things that others don't. I'm thinking a lot about things, and I'm observing a lot, before I'm acting, and that's the opposite as an extrovert. So some people just talk and then they think.
Also, we try to avoid the spotlight, so we're much more helpful when it comes to the artistic side of making music. Like if we want to have something in the production field, we're usually the one that's like, I don't want to take the stage, I don't want to take your mic, I don't want to take your guitar, I'm just going to listen and then I'll tell you what I hear. And that's like much more helpful feedback than the guy that's like, I want to be in the booth with you, I'm going to show you how to do it right. And it's like, no, don't do that. Because yeah, some people are very self-conscious about how they sound and everything, and the last thing you want to do is like step in front of them and be like, I'll show you how to do it right. So whenever my friends ask me for like help on their screams or anything, I'm never like, oh, I know all of it. But I usually will be like, here's how I've done it in the past incorrectly. Try not to do this. Try to avoid doing this because it really hurts. And that's most important.
Yeah, only give advice when you're expert at it.
Yeah. you have to have some experience with it in order to explain what you've been through, and then you can help more people. But yeah, expert professionals, those are the best people to go to. Unfortunately, unfortunately, they're usually not free.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're good at it, so when it's their job, they should get what they deserve.
Absolutely. What is one of your other passions besides music?
Other passions. Yeah, I'm really into like not really fitness, but more like I would call it powerlifting. I'm not competitive, but I'm just training as a lifter. So yeah, then I got my dog. So I need to get him for a walk every day. Yeah, my wife and I, we were we are outdoor enthusiasts. So I mean, it's not too much time for it anymore since our kid is here. But the last years we made a lot of like hiking trips and stuff, and yeah, we like to travel. That's just these are the things I love.
Wonderful. So very outdoorsy. And your wife are both feel that. My fiance is unfortunately, I think, allergic to mosquitoes, so it kind of causes a bit of an issue.
I mean, I don't like mosquitoes, but I get it.
I hate bees. I'll run from those things, man. Wasps, oh my God. I'm like, get me out of here.
I'm okay with that. I mean, that's part of the whole picture outside. So
True. But yeah, you've had more time out there before the kid, and you probably had a lot more experience and adventure. So traveling, have you traveled out of the country a lot? Have you gone to different places?
yeah, I've been to the U.S. a couple of times.
Nice.
We have some good friends in Spokane. I think I already told you.
Yeah, Spokane, Wisconsin. Yeah, crazy. Small world.
I've been there this April, and I think it's not too far from Chicago, or is it? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
American relations, that's not too far.
No, it's for us. I mean, it technically is, but at the same time, I know where the Wisconsin Dells are, and I know where Spokane is, and I'm like, okay, well, if I were to go to one or the other, I'm pretty sure Spokane's a little bit closer, but Milwaukee's probably my favorite because it's only like 2 hours away, and yeah, much easier to get home. Super fast highway. I love driving almost 100. It's great.
Yeah, you should take a trip on the Autobahn in Germany.
Oh yeah, that'd be real fun. As long as everybody has the same the side that they're driving on, as opposed to the UK where it's challenging.
I've been driving in the US, and it was okay for me as a German. No.
Okay, good. It's all the same. Okay, that's very good.
You should come and go there before or as long as you can, because politics are talking about the tempo limit of. So we never know how long these autobahns are open.
Well, so yeah, I work in logistics for overseas shipping, and we're always seeing what has to go on over the planet. And unfortunately, we always see when we have places that we're no longer allowed to ship to or from. So we have to cross those off of our list and explain to customers that these can't be shipped here anymore because of our regulations. So I hear what you're saying with that. Yeah, Germany is unfortunately on the side where we're like, we don't know exactly what can happen at any moment, and where we're like always thinking in this world that we're always questioning, what is the next thing that's going to happen? Like who's going to cause the next trouble that we're all going to be involved in? And we're always like on our guard, especially as Americans, to be like, we got to jump into this situation. And for me, I'm not personally involved in any of that. I honestly think we should stay out of it and fix our own country first. But my government doesn't agree.
I mean, there are a lot of issues in the whole world. Every country has its problems. So
yeah. It's okay though. We're all people, and we'll eventually figure it all out. It just makes us a little stronger. My favorite thing about Germany is that you guys have a rich spirit when it comes to music, just like most of the Scandinavian countries. You guys have insane talent, and obviously one of the most famous places for the musical Sound of Music. I mean, I love the landscape of Germany. I love the feel. I love the music. what is something besides the German folk music that you've heard that you're like, wow, Germany has the best? Is it Rammstein?
Yeah, I used to like Rammstein. Again, why I always like old music, but
It is the best. That was their prime.
yeah, a lot of bands don't get better when they get older, I think.
Yeah, it's challenging.
Yeah, I've been into a show at Rammstein, so that was pretty cool.
Very exciting.
Yeah, what is cool in Germany? I mean we have a lot of German music. Yeah, but I don't know why, but maybe it's a language. I think English is much more. How can I say it? It sounds better, like more melodic, and that's why I write English lyrics. So
Got it. Yeah, a little bit more accessible.
there is cool German music, definitely, but I would always prefer English music. I mean, not from America or from England or somewhere, but with English lyrics.
English lyrics are probably a lot easier to write.
Yeah, but sometimes when a German band or whatever band from a country that's where they don't speak English, when they write lyrics, sometimes they can sound cringe. So that's what I'm always afraid of, to write lyrics when someone from America or somewhere reads my my lyrics and he thinks, oh, what's that? That's cringe.
Yeah, that also runs in line with the Rammstein not being great these days because they have some lyrics that are kind of stupid.
Yeah, that's the reason I think so much about lyrics. Yeah, when I'm not sure, or is this correct? Can I sing like that? I don't know.
You can make it sound cool. You can make it sound aggressive, and it can be something ridiculous. Like they talk about sex so much in their music.
But people don't even have to understand what I'm singing. So
Yeah. If you're screaming at them, then it sounds intense, so it must be intense.
yeah, but I think that's what I'm aiming for, is that when you scream, I think it's more difficult to understand every word, but that's something I'm aiming for, and that's what I like. Heavy music, when I understand the lyrics, if I don't have to look them up, I think maybe most of it you should understand.
Wonderful. What is a band that you're currently into that's in your country?
In my country, I mean, there are a lot of underground bands I'm following, but not really listening to on a regular basis. Not much, honestly. I mean, tomorrow on Tuesday I'm going to a Periphery concert. If you know.
Oh, amazing band.
But no German band.
Yeah. Do you have Any's okay?
And it's okay. I know them. Are they
Yeah.
in Germany?
Yeah, they are.
Really? Oh, okay. Then know that.
They're awesome. They had my favorite song of 2020. It was called "Shut the Fuck Up." It's a great song. It really got me in the mood to like yell at people.
More memorable title.
Oh yeah. Well, it was STFU, so they didn't actually say that because otherwise you couldn't find it. Censorship's crazy here.
By the way, German band Caliban. Do you know them?
No.
That was the same time when I started listening to Bring Me the to Bullet for My Valentine.
Oh.
Same time I was discovering Caliban.
How do you spell it?
Caliban. So it's Caliban. They really got me into metalcore.
I'm gonna follow them right now. Oh my god, I've never heard of these dudes. Okay. Well, thank you for that.
The first three albums are so much classic metalcore, like the 2000s metalcore.
As we were talking about metalcore before, I have on my notes from our first conversation, you have not heard Ice Nine Kills. Has that changed since we chatted?
It didn't change.
It did not change. Okay, impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I know them, and I know they must be big.
But you've never personally gone out and tried to hear them.
I couldn't even say now how they sound or what kind of music. Probably heavy music, but
Yeah. They base their music on horror movies most of the time these days. So they'll take a very famous horror movie like The Shining, they write lyrics that have to go around it, and it'll be very heavy, but then the chorus is usually so catchy that even my fiance can handle it. So she's been jamming like crazy to the song about Psycho and the song about American Psycho. Crazy. It's pretty psycho. But it's really good music. I highly recommend.
it's a cool idea with that horror movies.
Yeah, he loves it. The lead vocalist, Spencer Charnas, he has a huge passion for horror, and he grew up watching all of those movies. His favorite is Scream. So the first album based on movies was called The Silver Scream instead of The Silver Screen. It was genius.
Interesting. Cool.
Yes. Very, very good. If you like slasher movies, the 80s and all of that, I would highly recommend that album. It's so good. But the newer one has like a mix of like somewhat new movies, somewhat old movies, and just insanity. Like the darkest of dark and the lightest of light. You're going to get songs where you're like, all right. Then you're going to get songs where you're like, okay. So it is that kind of band, and I can say they're very versatile with how much they play around with their sound, and they have a freaking amazing fan base. Like there's so many people that love them. Merchandise up the wazoo.
Yeah, I think they've been there for a long time now. But
Yeah, they've been around for freaking almost 15 years. Yeah.
yeah, so you have to build a big fan base to be there for that long time.
Definitely. And they have they do the same thing where they have like their own aesthetic. So instead of merchandise, they have evidence because they're murderers in their slasher universe. So they have evidence that comes out every month or so. They'll have a new merchandise drop, and they'll be like, new evidence has hit the scene. Go and look at it now. And it'll be like based on a new movie or based on an old movie or based on the specific time of year. So last summer, they were like, here's our Jaws collection. New evidence has arrived. And it's like, I love that. It's so fun. It makes it interesting.
That's pretty innovative.
Definitely. And it's very good. Like they're very talented musicians, and I'm dying to see them live because they're probably amazing. I've heard their live album and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. But so concert wise, you were talking about Periphery before. Any other concerts that you've been to that you're like, oh my gosh, this band was amazing?
Metallica was really.
Metallica.
I think if you're listening to whatever kind of metal, you have once to go to Metallica concert.
True. Yeah, I would have gone this year, but they're playing at a humongous place for like $400 a ticket.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and they're getting old, honestly.
They're kind of in their 50s. It is getting up there, or 60s. Yeah. Oh my God.
I think I saw them like 2010 or something, so it was still their prime.
Yeah, that was before they had their comeback.
Yeah, I guess. And
that was
James' voice was still on point.
Still good. That was like Death Magnetic, right?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. That's a good tour.
Yeah.
Saint Anger is still their like least favorite album, or like their fans' least favorite album.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people hate them for that, but
yeah, I think the album was different, but I think it served it had a purpose, and I think that fulfilled it perfectly. It's so aggressive, and if you know the context of like James' alcohol addiction and stuff, all their problems, that album touched me in an emotional way.
impressive. You're one of the only people that said anything like that about that album.
If I would only listen to that album without knowing Metallica or without knowing anything about them and just knowing the songs, yeah, probably it's not their best album musically, but yeah.
but it has relatable lyrics, relatable like feelings in it.
Yeah, I mean, it was so aggressive, and I like that. So like the snare that just sounded like if you hit on a can or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what they said. It sounded like a can.
Yeah, some people didn't like it, but I somehow liked that album.
Yeah, my personal favorite is "And Justice for All." I still love that one.
Yeah, the old stuff's so good.
It is, and that's their thrashier kind of era too. So I still have not heard "Ride the Lightning" out of all things. "Ride the Lightning" and their first album ever, "Kill 'Em All." I've not heard either of those yet, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, you should do that.
Definitely.
I mean, it's different. Their first albums are different. It's more thrashy. Yeah, but it's interesting. Like you can see the development they made, not only as musicians, like also in their style.
True. But yeah, so that concert that's coming to the States, you wouldn't believe it, but the opening act is going to be Ice Nine Kills, band that we were just talking about for Metallica, and then the other band is going to be Five Finger Death Punch, who had
seen them.
You have? Okay. Did you know that they had an album called "And Justice for None"?
Is it an older one?
So it's a playoff of the "And Justice for All" from Metallica. It's "And Justice for None," and Metallica now is going to have a tour with them, and I'm just like, how ironic. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. So you saw Five Finger Death Punch though. What era was that?
I think 2013, something like that.
You got Wrong Side of Heaven, Righteous Side of Hell.
Yeah, they played it. I remember that.
Oh my god, dude, you got the best era. That was the double album that year, double LP.
Yeah, and stopped listening to them after that time.
That was it. That was it for you. Got Your Six was not impressive.
I still like the albums they had at that time, but I somehow lost the connection to them. I don't know why.
It's okay. Ivan was actually having alcohol problems at that time, so that was a perfect time to jump off the train. He had to get himself fixed after Got Your Six, and then they made some albums that sounded a little generic, and then "And Justice for None." So it's full circle, man.
It was past that time.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think it came out 2 years ago now. I think 2022. Yeah.
Okay, pretty new.
Definitely. But Five Finger Death Punch has one of the best producers. Like, I don't know who produces their music. I think it's a member.
Yeah, what was his name? I don't know his name, but he's a legend.
Yes.
If you want to get a better producer and Google stuff, you always find his name somewhere.
Kevin Shirko.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Ozzy Osbourne, Papa Roach, Five Finger Death Punch, Disturbed, In This Moment, Shania Twain, Skillet, and Hell Yeah. What a crazy producer. He works with everybody. I mean, I was like, okay, I get the metal, but now you got Shania Twain as one of his on the list. That's crazy. That's a good producer, though, that they've worked with plenty of people.
He's obviously versatile.
Oh, definitely. Speaking of country, though, we were talking about that before. Do you have a favorite country artist?
Oh, I have to remember the name somehow. I have to look it up.
Yep, you're good.
I mean, there's Willie Nelson. That's something I remember because he's one of the older guys. But,
Yes, the classic.
Chris Stapleton. That was his name. I love.
Oh my god. He is so talented, and I used to be so upset with him because I would watch him go up for his rewards all the time. Here's your new award, Mr. Stapleton. Here's a new award for Mr. Stapleton. And I'm like, who the heck is this old dude in a beard? Why do we keep giving him things? And then I finally heard his songs, and I was like, I get it. Okay. He's a very talented guy, and also he wrote some of the best songs in country of the modern age. The song by Luke Bryan originally was written by Chris Stapleton. So Luke Bryan is the vocalist on the track, but Chris Stapleton wrote it as a whole, and that one is Drink a Beer. I love that song. I never knew Chris had anything to do with it, but
Every
yeah.
good country singer has to sing one song at least about drinking beer or whiskey.
It's actually a very depressing song about losing his brother. I don't know if it's about his brother specifically or a brother in general, but the way that he sang it was very emotional. And when I saw Luke Bryan live and he sang it, it was like really, really solid. I was like, wow, this is a great song. So if I had known at that time it was Chris Stapleton, I would have been like, yes, Chris, yes, more awards for you. Now I'm excited every time he wins because it's amazing. He's also touring with this is just a crazy coincidence. Chris Stapleton is also going to be at the same place Metallica is, I think the week or two after, with George Strait. So George Strait, the classic. Check yes or no.
Yeah, sounds familiar, but I don't really know.
No? Okay. No George Strait, but Willie Nelson still hitting your radar.
American country is really not big in Germany, so
Got it. Yeah. Limited amount that you're able to find.
yeah. I mean, with Spotify, you can't find anything, but it's just not popular here.
Very true. Speaking of streaming and everything like that, I want to go on the outside of streaming. Do you have any physical media? Are you a collector of anything, music, movies, anything?
I stopped collecting CDs and started a couple of years later to collect some what's the word for vinyl, like the bigger, not CDs, the bigger ones.
Oh, vinyls.
Vinyls. Okay, yeah, that's the word.
Records, yeah.
Yeah, I got a vinyl from Parkway Drive's album. Was it Atlas? That's so funny, but it sounds so totally different on a
Dude, that is my first experience of Parkway Drive. I love that album. Yes. Oh my God. Let's see. What was the Eyes? What is the song?
What do you mean, Wild Eyes?
Wild Eyes. Thank you. I love that song. It's like the best. So good.
It's one of the best albums, definitely.
And then The River.
In my opinion.
The River is very good.
Oh man, that song is so deep.
Such a cool song. I never knew anything about the lyrics, and so going into their newest single at the time, which was what was that? Dude, my memory's getting bad. You must have an effect on me. Parkway Drive. That's their most famous song. What is it called?
One of the newer ones or an older song?
Off of Reverence. Oh, Wishing Wells. There we go. So I had no idea that he was dealing with passing of a friend or family member, and like just so rageful at that. I didn't realize that that's what he was going through. So I started paying attention to the lyrics more after that. And then IRE was the one I got. I loved IRE at first, and then I realized IRE did nothing when it came to Atlas. So I took IRE, gave it to my friend, and then I bought Atlas so that I could have that on my CD collection, which is somewhere around here, this area.
Did you also take a listen to Deep Blue?
Deep Blue, yes. Oh my God, their Horizons, yes.
Yeah.
All their good old stuff. Their newer stuff is not my fave.
Yeah, Horizons, the song Boneyards. It's so sick there. I still remember that the end of the song where he's screaming, "There's blood," and then in the end, this "In the waters." It changed my life.
Changed your whole perspective on metal. You're like, how does he do that?
That was when I first thought I want to scream really deep.
He's got a great voice. He's so cool. But I love the instrumentation when it comes to Parkway. Like, they're some of the best guitarists. I love everything that they do, especially on Horizons. I think that's my favorite album guitar wise. Atlas is just a great overall, like just showing the evolution of Parkway as a whole, and they're so good. Reverence is more spoken than it is sung, and so the songs between are just telling the story. Concept album, I get it, but I wanted more rock in your face like IRE was, and I did not get that. So I was like, not my favorite. But Kronos on that album was awesome to me. I loved Kronos, Wishing Wells, and The Void.
Yeah, definitely Atlas and Deep Blue were my favorite albums. Horizons has a big meaning for me, but musically, Deep Blue and Atlas my favorites.
Got it. Yeah, Deep Blue is awesome too. I remember we have a thing called we have Shazam, but we also have something called, what was that called? See, this is it, man. You're giving me bad memory.
No, it's the 30s.
Yeah, that's it. It's the 30s. I'm blaming my age. It's got to be. There's it starts with a P. Shit. Streaming music. Pandora.
Ah, yeah. Killing with a Smile. Was it that album? I think.
No. Pandora was an app just like Spotify and everything like that, and it's still there, I think, but it's only American.
The funny thing is, Pandora is a song from Parkway Drive on the album Killing with a Smile.
Oh, really? I thought you were talking about Pantera at first. I was like, maybe you heard Pantera.
Pandora.
Pandora is a song.
Great
Okay.
song.
Well, there we go. Full circle. That's exactly what I meant. But yeah, Pandora, they had like a random shuffle thing that you could have as a free listener. And so I would always pick like my favorite radio was like For Today. I loved that band. And so I would play one song by them, and then all of a sudden I'd get all of these other metalcore songs, get an ad in between, and then more metalcore. And I would always get like something from Horizons. So that's why I'm so much closer to Horizons than I am Deep Blue. So now you make me want to go back and deep dive into Deep Blue. And now I have to find Pandora on their discography because you just said it's an amazing song. So this is all working out.
Yeah, it's classic 2000s metalcore. I mean, not technically the best compared to modern music, but it's it's where I grew up. I was a teenager, so I'm just emotionally connected to this.
The nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have festivals that are literally just exposing all of our nostalgia and making us pay enormous amounts of money to relive it. Like they have last year was Sick New World, before that was Forever Young or whatever tour, and While We're Young, that's it. And all of these are like humongously known artists from the 2000s all getting together for one big festival that takes over a weekend in Nevada and like Vegas area. And I didn't go, but everyone that did go, they're like, it was the best day of my life. And I was like, you lost the $400 to $500. I mean, I hope it was the best year of your life because it would be bad if it was disappointing. Yeah. But the millennial age is what we are, the generation of millennials. And it's amazing how much I feel that we're becoming the old men of our age, and the next generation is just a bunch of kiddos that don't respect their elders like us, right? It's pretty good times.
These young core kids, they don't even know what I'm talking about.
No. They're too busy flossing.
2000s metalcore, what 2000s?
They don't care. Yeah, they don't care about anything at all. Oh my God. Any kid that like is born in the last 10 years, it's amazing to me that they even have a musical history. And I'm like, what could you possibly remember? There was nothing that happened in the 2010s. Like it didn't happen. It was just it was blah. The only thing that really mattered at that time was Bring Me the Horizon and Architects. Both of them like changed the scene for metal. But other than that, there wasn't really much that going on. And you know, pop music was the only thing running, with EDM as the main. And rap music became melodic. That's all I remember, is like the downfall of almost every genre. So I'm glad that we're getting some metal in the newer age right now, where everyone's on TikTok and they're all like jamming to like Lorna Shore and Sleep Token. It's crazy how they're and Spirit Box.
Sick.
They're insane.
Yeah.
I have to hear their whole album though. I've only heard The Summoning. I've heard one other song, I think, and I've seen too many people like over exaggerate how great they are. And I always listen to one song, I don't know what it is, and I'm always like, well, that sounds like three bands that I already know. Like, what's so amazing about it is that I guess that they're all the three bands I enjoy, but they're all together. That's what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like anything that's like, this is the cool stuff.
Sleep Token is exactly that what I'm looking for in modern music. I think that it's just so innovative to like connect jazz or something, music, and I'm looking for something new. You know, I can't if I want to hear metalcore. It's no, yeah, I want to hear something new, and that became so tough since Spotify.
Have you heard Hardy's new album from last year?
There's no.
Hardy is a country artist originally, and he mixed half of his album is in rock and metal, and the other part of the album is in pop country.
Oh, interesting.
So he's got one like serious country song, and then it goes and changes. So cool.
Look that up.
Yes, and he just did a rap song this year, so he's like mixing genres that should be mixed, and I'm just amazed by him overall. And then there's another country artist from my state that's called Brett Eldridge, and on the side he's making Christmas albums that have the same sound as Frank Sinatra. So he's like really, really good at that, and I hope that he's gonna bring back that big band swing to be like a main genre in the history. Like we need that. It would be a really good swing reoccurrence.
I don't listen to radio and Christmas.
Yeah, good choice. And I'm glad you don't have to work in any retail or hotels or anything, because that's all they play over your head all year long or all month long for that period of time. And you're just like, I'm going to die. It's the same songs over and over. But I'm a huge Josh Groban fan. I don't know if you know who he is. He's awesome. He's like an operatic kind of vocal. He's a very good artist. Well, I should say singer. He's not really an artist. I don't think he produces much.
A lot of musicians.
Yeah, I know too much. I try to keep my eyes and ears open to anything that I possibly can, just so I have more insight and I guess you could say validity, yeah, when it comes to speaking about them. So I can be like, oh, well, I know every album, so therefore I must know the artist. But no, he's a really solid vocalist. I've loved him since 2003 when I heard his cover of "Oh Holy Night," and I think he's a phenomenal just singer in general. He's just so talented. He did Sweeney Todd on Broadway last year, and that's his most recent album that you can get, is hearing that whole performance, and it's outstanding. He is a truly gifted vocalist, very good singer. Now that we're getting to the end, though, I want to ask easy questions here. This is going to be a really fun one. This is like a first date question. What is your favorite color?
Favorite color? It depends. As you can see, my walls in my basement are black.
Yeah, I do see that.
I like black, but I'm not wearing all black every day. Yeah, but I would say green or darker green.
Darker green. It's like army green.
Yeah, maybe. That's like a natural color. Good.
Very good, very good. And then, what is your favorite food?
Burgers.
Burgers. How do you like them cooked?
I'm not an expert in it, but I do it either on the gas grill or in the pan. Yeah, do some mayonnaise on it and some barbecue sauce.
There we go. That's delicious. I love when you add the barbecue to it.
Sometimes some bacon on it. That's perfect.
Do you like medium rare, medium well, or medium?
Yeah, medium.
Medium? Yeah, I'm medium as well.
Yeah, my wife likes it done, well done.
Well done? Oh my goodness.
So I always have to work out.
Make it like burnt.
Too raw for it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm afraid of fire, so that's causing a little bit of trouble when it comes to like grilling, smoking, anything of that sort. But down the line, as I become a father, I'll have to do it, and then I'll probably get more comfortable with it, and then find that passion that every guy has, where it's just like, whoo, whoo, whoo.
I was always someone who was cooking for himself, and when I married my wife, then we just we both cook.
Wonderful. It's a team effort.
Yeah, it's not the classical roles in our family.
No, not traditional.
We both are doing both.
Well, that's great. There's more variety then, because she'll get whatever she wants and you get whatever you want, and then you guys can mix it and make a huge like buffet for the kids.
Sometimes we're cooking together, or sometimes I cook for her.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. And how long have you guys been together?
We met in 2008. 10 years later, we married. 28.
Wow. Okay.
And we got our kid 18 months ago.
2008. Goodness.
It took us some time. We met in high school, or
Freshman year.
freshman year is university, right?
No, yeah, you're right. Freshman year of university, that would be.
We have a different system, so we have 13 years of school.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can go either 8 years is like the lowest level.
Yeah.
You need, or 10 years or 13 years, and you need to go 13 years to go to German university.
Oh, yeah, but that's free, right?
Yeah, that's free.
That's so cool. We don't have that.
Yeah, I've heard of that you that you need a lot of money if you want to study in the US.
Yeah, if you go to a school that's in district, it's between 200 and 300 per class, and then you have to get your books on top of that, so it's 400 to 500 altogether. And you're like, oh, that's a lot of money, but it's handleable. If you're out of district, which is the second school I went to, I paid $1,000 and then books. That was one class. So it was very challenging financially. Private schools are terrible too.
Yeah, I think we're gifted in Germany that everyone could study if you wanted to.
That's awesome. That gives so much more opportunity to people.
Yeah, definitely.
But as you were saying, you have been with your wife since 2008. That was 10 years. So 2018 was when you guys got married.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. I met my fiance in 2011. We were juniors, year before finishing our high school. So we have 12 years of school. That was our 11th year. And then we're still not married yet, but I proposed about 5 years ago. So catching up. Yeah.
I mean, a long time we both said we don't have to marry. I mean, I know in the US it's more
Expected.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think in Germany, it's I know a lot of people who are not married and together
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I know people that are married and don't actually end up together.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And I was thinking for a long time, I don't need to marry. Let's just stay together. But the day came that I don't know why, but somehow I wanted to be even more connected to my wife, and I think that's the way we can show her and everyone out there that she's the one.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love that. Also, it's great for helping each other beneficially. Over here, we have a health insurance that's given to both. If you're in a spouse relationship as opposed to being single or being in the same house, then you can't usually put those things on record. But I was told recently that even if you're not married, that they can still be seen as a significant other, so they can still like show up to the hospital and help you and stuff like that. So our healthcare is a pretty different thing. A lot of people hate it because Canada has so much nicer healthcare because it's so free. So a lot of people compare us to Canada and they're like, I don't want to go to America. And I'm like, hey, listen, we might have healthcare problems and every other problem, but at least we can speak freely. That's all I got. And at this point, we can't. Everything's censored now.
Is it really?
It is unfortunately, yeah, especially on private companies like YouTube and stuff like that. It makes it challenging to express one's opinions, as opposed to the old days where nobody cared because it was all funny. lots of sensitivity, I could say. Like they are having us do sensitivity training at work so that we can understand how everybody's feeling. And I'm like, why? Just do your job. I understand you can have a bad day. We all have bad days, but we are adults. We should take it seriously. This isn't school. Yeah. Either way, man, I had a great time chatting with you. This was a great interview, and I'm looking forward to helping you in the future as well to promote anything you got coming up next. So whenever that next single is dropping, I would love to know the release date, and then we can put that out there for the people that are watching.
I'll keep you up to date. Yeah, it was
Wonderful
a experience. Actually, this was the first time ever that I gave an interview.
I had a great time, man, and you're such a nice dude and so chill and easygoing. I like it.
Hey, thanks, you too. Had a great time with you.
Thank you, man. And for everybody watching, I hope that you guys had a great time watching us chat. And sorry about the little crackle in the beginning. That was my mistake with the microphone. Don't worry about it. Got fixed about 8 minutes in, but I'll figure out all the rest of the editing. And Paul here was in perfect quality the entire time. Other than that, man, what is like the best way that we can support you? Is there a website? Is there links that we should go to in the description down below?
Just by following me on Instagram and listening to my songs on Spotify. And a lot of stuff is going to come in the next months, so be prepared.
Hell yeah. That's what we're going to do. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. I hope all you guys have a great night and stay safe out there. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the Media Man Dan podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have an awesome day and stay safe out there. Peace.